And welcome back to the mashup. I'm Kenny, and I just left Woodford's gift shop. They had the Sweet Oak Bourbon that they just put out today. I was up at Woodford today doing a double oaked barrel proof pick. So I kind of stumbled upon this, but I thought I would come home and do a little video on it. It is something that is unique from the standpoint, if you look, it is 110.4 proof. So if you noticed here recently, they did have the chocolate redux, and that was a 139.4. This is 110.4. So they seem to be breaking away from that 90.4. So let's give this a whirl and see what we think. Be right back. All right, so this we found out today. This is done in Chinkapin barrels. Cannot even say Chinkapin hardly, but Chinkapin barrels. I've had some Heaven Hill. We had a Heaven Hill select stocked rye and a Heaven Hill select stock bourbon that were done in those barrels. I'm trying to think what else I've had in those barrels that were like that. And then also while we're there today in the gift shop, they also had the 2025, the 12-year American single malt. I want you guys to see that. I think it's their first product or one of the first products with an age statement on it. The nice lady doing our tasting today and our barrel pick today said it was their first product with an age on it. So I haven't really checked that, but definitely first or one of the first. So it's kind of nice seeing something coming out with a little bit of age on it from Woodford, and then also with a little bit higher proof from Woodford as well. We definitely enjoy some Woodford product, but one of our complaints a lot of times is that sometimes too low a proof. But we did find out today that the new double oak barrel proofs are not what we would usually consider a barrel proof bourbon the way they do it. And we got today, for the first time for me doing a pick there, you also did not have to combine A with B, A with C, and B with C. But what they do ahead of time on their new double oak barrel proof picks, we found out today that they take about 120 barrels and they batch them, blend them together, and they end up putting them into the second barrel then at 97 proof. They go in the barrels originally about 110 is what they said, but they put the second go around in at 97 proof. So they are calling it barrel proof, but it's barrel proof based on when it enters the second barrel, not the first barrel. So I know when I've done some regular Woodford picks up there before, we tasted some that were 115, 118, might have been 120 proof, but that was when doing a regular Woodford pick. With these, it's going to be a little bit different. But even though it is a little bit lower proof than some of those, number one, we're not having to water down to 90.4. And number two, where the water was added before it went into that second barrel, we were pretty happy today. It was a lot more viscous and rich than what we thought it would be at 96.3 proof. So ours actually lost a little bit of proof point that we picked. And that will be on Bourbon Outfitters coming up before the end of the year, I believe. And then also while we were there, I said we got lucky that they dropped this. So I did want to give that a whirl. Definitely a fan of some of the Chinkapin from Heaven Hill. So I just fresh cracked that, never tasted it. So you'll see my real thoughts. Can't hide my expressions too easily. And then something that we talked about, I guess up at Woodford where they are pot still. You know, a lot of your Irish whiskeys, your scotches, all that's pot still, and they're all single malt. So I'm also very curious how this single malt will do because it is done in a pot still. So that's kind of got me intrigued as well to try that. But we will try this one first. See what we got here. And this was $180, and they are in 700 milliliters. So that would be like $192, $193, something like that if it was a 750. We asked her about that because we know last year's double oak was in a 700, and just where that's the size they can ship all abroad. Because I guess before that, the double oak was only at distillery releases primarily. I know I've seen it Total Wine, Liquor Barn, place like that, but not a lot. So she said last year, I guess they really expanded the shipment of the double oak. So that's why they went to the 700 milliliter. They can be sent overseas and here all more easily, I guess, than the 750s. But here we go. Let's try this. Ooh, kind of chocolatey. Not much ethanol. A little leather. Coffee. We got a little coffee on that. The sweet oak bourbon. Should have pulled out my Heaven Hill Select Stock to compare that to. This will be different though. This we found, there's no age statement on that, but it is about 8 years old, based on what we were kind of told behind the scenes. Off the record, which is now I guess on the record, but you know, no, off the record, about 8 years old though. That is very malt forward, grain forward. Surprised how grain forward that is. Interesting. Very interesting. Definitely not your normal Woodford profile. No banana bread. Still get some chocolatey, some coffee. A little more, definitely it tastes like a heavier malt. I didn't ask to see if it was a different mash bill than normal or usual, but, or if they did anything different with the grains. I guess I could have looked that up before, but like I said, we literally just got this bottle, just got home from the tasting. Still got our barrel selection badge and everything. I'm gonna let that sit and get a little air into it while I try this 12-year age stated single malt. We got a little nice little glass that they gave us there for doing the barrel selection. Uh-oh. All right. I hope the palate does not match the nose on this. This has definitely got, you know, you can tell just like sometimes a Irish or a Scotch, you get that maltiness on it, but it's also tastes gonna sound bad. Don't gonna sound bad. It tastes a little fishy or something like a tackle box or something. I'm sorry, not taste noses. Nose like a tackle box. Ooh, all right. Let's hope that palate does not match the nose. Man, that is. It's like you're fishing. Yeah, way chocolatey, super chocolate. Yeah, 90.4 proof though, and this was actually 99 bucks. So 99 for 375, so you're 200 bucks for a 750. This is about 192, 193 for a 750. Initial taste on both of those. This I'm considered a try to maybe a buy or go back to that. Initial taste on that is at $200. I would definitely probably not buy that. But let's give it a little more time, a little more chance. Because think about it, you can get a Redbreast 12 cask strength. I think even, I mean, I know I picked some up at retail that were 80 bucks, 90 bucks. SRP is probably higher now, 120, 130 maybe, but that's 200 and it's 12-year age stated. Redbreast 12-year cask. Definitely less money than that. Palate does not match the nose to me, which is good. I just still, at that price, it's going to sound bad, it's probably double what I would pay. If this was $99 for a 750, I'd revisit that. It is nothing off-putting about it. Definitely a little chocolatey. You get obviously this is single malt, but it's malty, like a Whopper, Gobstopper type of candy, whatever they think is a Whopper. Just like the actual malt, the actual chocolate covered malt candy. Not bad at all, but a little watery for me at the 90.4 proof, and at $200 for 750, it's literally, I believe, double the price of what it should be. But let's go back to this, because this one also, if you can tell the color difference, you can look and see it is a very, very clear difference. That Chinkapin oak is, I believe they said, a softer oak. So it penetrates further into the barrel. At least that's what they told us at Heaven Hill when we were doing their stuff. But the color is just, I mean, I know it's a little bit different. I know it's, 20 proof points different, but still, look at the color difference is night and day on those two. And this is 8 years old compared to 12 years old. So even 4 years older, way lighter. And then one thing I meant to talk about earlier was on the double oaked barrel proof that we had 6 barrels to pick from. We got to thieve 3 of them, take them back to the house to taste them. And one of them was more reminiscent of a traditional double oak pick. And then the other one was like a double oak pick, just kind of amped up, a lot more viscous, just punchier, or not punchier, but stronger flavors. Definitely, you could tell it had more backbone to it. I did take my favorite double oak pick there as a control, and it definitely was just a more meatier, beefier version of that one. But the one we ended up selecting was really, really cool. That one actually was more like a double oak. So if you get the double oak, sometimes it is a little bit maybe too dry for some people. Dries you out, a little bit too tannic, not as sweet as their regular stuff. Well, this was like a good mixture. You got more of like the barbecue-y, smoky, definitely a lot richer taste to it, but it still had a little bit of that slight chocolate chip banana bread flavor notes. So it's actually kind of a great blend. It's kind of like you took a really good double oak and a really good double oak pick and kind of put those two together. So I'm very excited for when that hits Bourbon Outfitter. Let's go back to this. As I just said, for that 5 to 7 minutes, 3 or 4 minutes, whatever it was, definitely sweetened up a little bit and not as malt forward, not as grain forward. Yeah, should have grabbed my select stock ahead of time, but we won't even mess with that. Definitely not your normal Woodford profile. If you gave me that blind, I would have zero clue it is a Woodford at all. So I'm not sure if it's just the different oak barrels or if they also did change the mash bill on that. But no banana bread at all whatsoever. And I know they say it's sweet oak, but when I have like a Woodford double oak and even just a traditional Woodford, I think it's a hair bit sweeter than what this is. All right, so I would give that a solid try. Cannot be a buy on that. So that potentially, if it was half the price, this is, like I said, that is about $192 for a 750. If this was half the, once again, honestly, it's gonna sound bad, about half the price, Yeah, I can't be a try because yeah, that's right. It's $200 basically. Maybe a pass on both at what the retail is. If they were about half the price, I would be a try and a try. I just know I've had a lot of $70 to $90 bottles that are a lot better than that. To be honest with you, kind of shocked because the color on it, I was super happy. And the Chinkapin, based on what I have from Heaven Hill and Chinkapin, I was really excited to try that. But the Heaven Hill I did have, it was 12 to 15 year old. I think the bourbon was maybe 12 and the raw was 15 or vice versa. Man, I'm wanting to give this a better rating, better review than I am, but I really did not. You saw me crack it. I didn't taste it ahead of time. Dang it. So, I mean, it's not bad at all. I just think it literally should be probably half the price. So I'm gonna give this a try. It's pretty good. So I'm gonna give that a try. I would pass on that. And that's really it's about all I can do right now with this. Maybe it'll change a little bit as I get some air into it. But appreciate you guys watching. If you have not already liked and subscribed to the channel, please like this video. Please subscribe to the channel. And see you guys later. Boom.